everybody, this is Miss Pender Harrison. Tonight you are going to be watching a how to be successful on your Macbeth essay video. Sorry if the camera's a little shaky. We're working with what we've got today tech-wise. So I'm going to go through and show you all of the handouts that you're going to need in order to be successful today, successful on Friday and Monday. We're going to draft some sample thesis statements. We're going to talk about what to use in your hook, and then we are going to brainstorm how to effectively use our quote sandwiches here in our body paragraphs. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you all the handouts that you're going to need. The first handout that you'll need is your Macbeth argumentative essay prompts. You are choosing one of these 3 essay prompts to respond to in a 5-paragraph essay. You're going to outline the essay on Friday. You're going to turn in the final draft of your essay on Monday. The next handout that you're going to need is your argumentative essay outline. Now, this document is going to go in your toolkit, and you're going to use it for the rest of the semester. So you're going to hang on to this handout, and you're actually going to write your outline, what will go in these boxes, on binder paper on Friday and on Monday. But you'll need this handout as well. Another key handout that you're going to need for this essay and for this final project is your Macbeth Student Unit Guide. We're going to be making sure that we use some of these key vocabulary terms in our essay, things like figurative language and gender and symbolism, guilt, fate, or characterization. I have a page full of quotes already cited and identified that I can just plug into my essay all ready to go. I have the page 3 and page 4. Page 4 also has my context for my quote as well. Some other handouts that you might consider using would be your Act 5 close reading. We have some passages from the play that you might consider including in your paper. And finally, we have our keyword notes for The Mask You Wear, the documentary that we watched on Tuesday. I might decide to use some of this information in the introduction paragraph of my essay. Now, I have printed out a larger version of the argumentative essay outline just for this video. On your essay outline that you're going to write on Friday, you're going to write yours just on a blank sheet of binder paper, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to use the template. So we're going to start with our introduction paragraph, but maybe a little counterintuitively, we're going to skip the hook at first. We're going to start with the thesis statement. Without the thesis, I can't write any of the rest of my paper. So I'm going to do a sample thesis statement for this bottom prompt. Agree or disagree with the following claim. Gender roles are harmful to society. And I could use this language frame in order to write my own thesis statement. So I'm going to start with the counter argument. I might say something like, although some people believe that gender roles are beneficial, I'm going to look for the opposite of harmful. So are beneficial to society. That would be the counter argument, the opposite of what I'm going to argue, comma. And then I'm going to adapt this because this is actually from our previous prompt. So individuals blank control what happens in their lives because blank. I'm going to write gender roles are harmful to society. Sorry, that was my fault. Because. Now, whatever I write in my because is going to be my 2 body paragraphs. So I might say something like, because they create stereotypes And maybe I'll put limit human nature, something like that. Then my first body paragraph is going to be about gender roles and how they create stereotypes. That'll be my first body paragraph. And my second body paragraph will be about how they limit human nature or human behavior. Now that I have my thesis statement, I can come back up to my hook. The background is just going to be a 1 to 2 sentence summary of the play of Macbeth. And I might even use my rhetorical précis outline to do this. So I might say something like, in the genre, which is a play, author tells the story of character, and then I would continue with what happens in the play. Okay, and I would just plug in information here. Now for the hook. For the hook, we are going to skip or ban the rhetorical question for this essay. It's not a terrible way to start an essay, but it does get very repetitive. So there are a couple of ways that you could introduce the reader. You could use an anecdote. You could use a statistic, or you could use a quote. Now, if I wanted to use an anecdote or a statistic, I might pull something from the mask you wear. I might pull some of the statistics that I wrote down about masculinity in modern day 2016, our society today. I might include an anecdote about one of the young men that we saw in the documentary. For example, Luis, who was jumped into a gang, or the little boy who was bullied and shoved up against a locker in, I think in like elementary school. So I could pull from these notes in order to do the anecdote or the statistic. If I wanted to do a quote, then I would find something from either my quote log or my figurative language chart. Now, I want to find a quote that is about gender. So I might say something, I might include something like about Lady Macbeth and how she challenges her husband when she says, "When you durst do it, then you were a man." So I might include that in my hook. Now, the next thing and the last thing that we're going to go over in this video is how to build your topic sentence. Your topic sentence is going to be one of the 2 reasons that you listed in your thesis statement. So my first one is that they create stereotypes. So I'm going to write something in my topic sentence about how gender roles create stereotypes, and then I might not have the rest of that sentence yet. I'm going to see what kind of quotes I can pull first, and then I might finish my topic sentence. So for a play and for any narrative piece, it's actually really easy to do this background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find 2 quotes that have to do with stereotypes. So I might use this one here. "'Tis not for you to hear," or when Macbeth is talking to Lady Macbeth, "'tis not for her to hear what he can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder." Act 2, Scene 3, lines 96 to 97. Because this is an outline, I might just number this quote over on the right and write number 1. So then when I come here, I just write number 1 and I move on because I already have it written down. I don't have to retype it. The last thing I'm going to do is make sure that my context, Macduff refuses to tell Lady Macbeth of Duncan's murder because, is going to be my background. So I'm going to still just write number 1 and make sure that those 2 match. For your background, you want to use character and then verb. And that's it. That's all that should be in your background in your context for your essay. Okay, we're going to run out of time. Good luck tomorrow.